For more on the legal implications of this investigation, I want to bring in former Chief Minority Counsel at the U.S. Senate Permanent Subcommittee on Investigations, Jeff Robbins, for more on this. Jeff, former President Trump has demanded the full affidavit be released without redactions. His lawyers were in court yesterday, but just observing. So why do you think his attorneys aren't formally pushing for this full release?
Hi, Diane. It's because they actually don't want the full affidavit released. If the full affidavit is released with all the details and all the evidence that the FBI and the Department of Justice has, then Mr. Lock Her Up is not going to be very pleased about what the country is going to see. So he is positioning it this way. He is claiming to want the affidavit released so he can continue to assail the Department of Justice as being involved in some kind of conspiracy, some kind of deep threat combination with some deceased Venezuelan dictator of some sort on one hand, but he doesn't actually want to ask the judge to release the affidavit because, well, he doesn't want people to see what's in there.
Now, how does this work now? Because the DOJ was trying to argue yesterday that you might as well just keep the whole thing sealed because with the appropriate redactions, they said the affidavit would be meaningless to the media organizations asking for it. The judge has obviously said, go back and figure out what you think should be redacted. So how far can they go with those redactions? And what does the judge need to consider as he evaluates what should and shouldn't be made public?
Well, that's a great question. From the Department of Justice's point of view, they feel as though, look, we don't hand a money launderer or a mob boss a roadmap to what we're doing and who we're speaking to. We don't issue invitations to witness tampering or witness intimidation. Why should we disclose this affidavit here? What's different? From the magistrate's point of view, he says, of course, well, what's different is it's the former president of the United States. And I can't have tens of millions of people running around the country thinking that I signed off on a search warrant on the basis of eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a tiger by the toe before I ran off to the golf course. So I need to preserve the integrity, if I can, of the judiciary and of the system. And so I'm going to try to strike a kind of a balance between protecting the investigation on one hand and at least persuading some Americans that this is not some kind of inside job on the other.
Now, next Thursday, the government will file their proposed redactions. So what are you keeping an eye out for there?
I should think that the government, which of course is preserving its right to appeal any disclosure of any aspect of the affidavit, is going to be redacting or seeking the redaction of, among other things, anything which remotely leads to the identification of anybody they're talking to, anything that remotely leads to their methods of investigation, anything that remotely suggests classified information, and anything which identifies law enforcement agents to the extent possible. But their concern is that with an affidavit thus redacted, all the public is going to see is redaction, 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 preposition, redaction, 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 and then he lied, which won't be that useful to the American people.
So, Jeff, how long do you think it'll be before we see what is expected to be now a partial release of this affidavit?
Well, I think it depends on whether or not the government can satisfy itself that what the magistrate decides to release is acceptable to it. Because if it isn't, you can expect the Department of Justice to appeal the magistrate's decision to the full federal judge himself, which is higher than a magistrate, and possibly to the Court of Appeals. So it could be weeks while this matter is thrashed out before we see anything.
All right, Jeff Robbins, we appreciate the legal analysis. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.